praised the gods of silver and gold, of brass, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, hear not, nor know, and the God in whose hand thy breath is, and whose are all thy ways, have thou not glorified.
So you praising these guys that can't hear, speak, move, none of that, with the vessels of God that was taking out his holy temple. Said, man, come on now, you knew better. Come on, brother.
Then was the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written. Mene, Mene, to call up Hazorin. This is the interpretation of the thing. Mene, God had numbered thy kingdom and finished it.
God have numbered your kingdom and finished it. Notice he said that twice. Mene, Mene.
Boy.
God has numbered your kingdom and finished it. Come on, brother.
To call. Thou art weighed in the balances and art found wanting. Perez. Thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians.
Come on.
Then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet, and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him, that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. In that night was Belshazzar the king of Chaldeans slain.
In that night he was took. Life was snatched from him that night. Killed that night. Come on, brother.
And Darius the Median took the kingdom, being about 62 years old.
See, he was 62 years old, but check this out. He was ruling under the authority of Cyrus the Persian. When you get to the history of Persia, that was Cyrus the Persian ruling, and he had somebody else ruling with him like a vice president called Darius the Mede. The kingdom of the Medes and the Persians, which today Persia is Iran. All right, now next we're going to go to the next kingdom that took down Persia. We just want to show you how Babylon fell and Persia took over. Next we're going to go into the Greek Empire, because that's what came up next. All right, now we're going to go to Daniel chapter 8. Daniel chapter 8, I'm going to read something out of this ancient world. Now I'm going to show y'all something, because remember in Daniel chapter 7, we read about that other kingdom, or that beast, and it said it had leopard. It was a leopard and it had 4 heads. We read that in Daniel chapter 7. Remember, first was a lion, the other one was like a bird, the third one was like a leopard, and it had 4 heads. And then the 4th beast was terrible and dreadful, right? So let's go prove that that's the Greek Empire. All right, we're going to Ancient World, page 40 and 41. Show y'all something real quick. Here it is right here. Age of Alexander.
With a close-up
Ancient World. Get a close-up on this right here. Oh, down here. That's a coin of Alexander the Greek. And on his head, he has a leopard helmet. On his head. The Greeks took the Persians down. If you get into the movie 300, that's what was going on. That was going on. That what was happening. The Persian Empire was coming to an end, and the Greeks was coming up or coming into play. The Greeks. And that was prophetic in itself, because Daniel had a vision of the Persians being took down by the Greeks. We're going to read it. It's in Daniel chapter 8. We're going to read 1 through 8 and then 20 through 22. You got that, O?
Yep.
Let me read this real quick. Ancient World, page 40 and 41. Philip, who was a Macedonian, Philip's 20-year-old son Alexander proved as able as his father. I'm going to start back up a little bit. Philip was assassinated 2 years later, but in spite of this, his Greek dominions remained intact. For when Thebes, Athens, and other Greek cities tried to revolt, Philip's 20-year-old son Alexander proved as able as his father, because Philip and Alexander were Macedonians, man. They weren't native Greeks. You see, the Greeks was revolting against them. You feel me? The native Greeks were seeds of Japheth, and they were dark-skinned people. A lot of people don't understand that. You look today and be thinking Japheth is the white man. That ain't a scripture in the Bible to even show that, man. Japheth is not the so-called white man or the Caucasians, man. Why would the Greeks be revolting against the Macedonians? Right, okay. Check this out. Philip's 20-year-old son Alexander proved as able as his father. He lost no time in enforcing Macedonian control. Why are they making a difference between Greeks and Macedonians?
Two different people.
When did Esau get into the Greek Isles? You got to go into the book of Joshua, chapter 61. You feel me? In other histories to show you how Esau and his sons start leaving Mount Seir and going and conquering other places, man. You feel me? Even in this book we got right here, it tell you that the Edomites are Romans.
Edom, Rome.
Get that out too. We go page 94, I believe it is. We got to highlight it.
Edom, Rome.
And this is a picture history book of Jewish civilization. They showing you that the Romans are Edomites. Right in here. All right, check this out. Philip's 20-year-old son Alexander proved as able as his father. He lost no time in enforcing Macedonian control and carrying on where his father left off. Alexander now hastened to plan the conquest of the Persians. Remember, Babylon, 4 kingdoms, right? Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome. All right? At a time when the colossal Persian Empire stood astride the Near and Middle East, this was no mean ambition for so young a ruler. All right, I'm going to jump over. It said Alexander had envisioned a blending of East and West, Hellenization, encouraging his soldiers to marry foreign women and taking a Persian wife himself. Now you know why a lot of those so-called Persians are light-skinned. You really don't know what happened. You feel me? The ancient world was a lot of dark-skinned people, man, but today you've seen a lot of mixing and blending. You feel me? But time was too short for him to consolidate his empire. In 323 BC, he died of a fever in Babylon. All right? Now, I think it's page 94 on that one. All right? You got the Daniel chapter 8, brother? Daniel chapter 8. We're going to read 1 through 8. And then 20 through 22.
Daniel chapter 8, starting at the first verse. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me Daniel. After that appeared unto me at the first. I saw in a vision, and it came to pass when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in a vision, and I was by the river Euphrates. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before me a river of ram, which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. And I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand. But he did according to his will, and became great. And excuse me, read that verse 5 again. And as I was considering, behold, and a goat came from.
It's a he-goat.
And a he-goat, thank you. And a he-goat came from the west, on the face of the whole earth, and he touched not the ground.
So he came from the west, huh?
Came from the west.
Saying he said he touched not the ground. He moved in quick. And he ruled a very short time. Whoever this he-goat is. Come on, brother.
He came from the west, on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a noble horn between his eyes.
Right.
And he came to the ram that had 2 horns.
Right.
Which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power.
Okay, so you got the he-goat running up on the ram in the fury of his power, right? Come on, brother.
And I saw him come close into the ram, and he was moved with the collar, thank you, with the collar against him, and smote the ram.
Smoked the ram. You see that this he-goat killed this ram, all right? So Daniel seen another vision. If you read the book of Daniel, Daniel saw so many visions. But the Most High was trying to show him the beginning of things and the end of things. You feel me? The beginning of nations and the end of nations. And how he was going to bring in, set up rulerships right behind each other in successive order. Remember, we started the video out. It's the Most High that ruleth in the kingdoms of men. And he set up over it the bases of men. He set up over the kingdoms who he want to rule. Right? So showing you is the Most High that run all this, man. All of it. Your voting booth and all that don't even matter. The Most High set up these kingdoms. Come on, brother.
Read that again.
Yeah.
And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved, and the collar against him. With collar against him, and smote the ram, and break his two horns.
Right.
And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand.
Come on.
Therefore, the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up four notable. Let me read that again. Let me read that verse 8 again. Therefore, the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up four notable ones toward the four winds of heaven.
All right, now jump over to verse 20 and 22. Let's get the breakdown of this vision he saw.
The ram thou sawest having two horns are the kings of Media and Persia.
So we see that the ram is the kings of Media and Persia. The Median Persia or the Persian Empire. All right? Now we see the ram got smoked by the he-goat. All right? Come on, bro.
And the rough goat is the king of Greece.
It's the who?
King of Greece.
The goat is the king of Greece. So who took down the Persians? The Greeks. Remember Daniel had a vision of the four kingdoms. Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome. Remember that order. All right? Come on, bro.
And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
It's the first king of what?
Greece.
Of Greece. All right? Read 22.
Now, that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, four kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation.
Out of the nation of the Greeks. Come on.
But not in his power.
But not in his power, the power of that first king. Let's read First Maccabees, showing you that the Apocrypha is part of the Bible. Because unless you had the Apocrypha, you wouldn't have the precepts to link up the first king of Greece, and now he was broken and four dominions came up out of him. Who is the first king of Greece? Let's get it. First Maccabees 1.
First book of Maccabees.
1 through 8, brother.
Chapter 1, verse 1.
It say that they would say the first king of Greece, right? Let's read about him. Come on.
And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian,